we're going to read the book. Talks about one of my favorite artists, which is Henri Matisse. It's called Drawing with Scissors. Okay, dear class, our unit on famous artists is almost over. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I am excited to read your reports. Here are some questions that you may want to think about. Why did you pick your artist? If you could ask your artist 3 questions, what would they be? Did you learn anything that really surprised you? Good luck and have fun, Miss Brent. Happy birthday and Happy New Year! My artist, Henri Matisse, was born on New Year's Eve. So was I. That's why I choose him for my report. It is weird to have your birthday on December 31st. I wonder if Henri Matisse got sick of people saying Happy New Year instead of Happy Birthday. My grandfather sent me this card on my birthday. The picture is by Henri Matisse. I like the colors. They're so bright. Henri was born in 1869. That is 125 years before me. He grew up in a small town in France. His parents ran a general store. His father wanted Henri to become a lawyer. Henri worked in a law office for a while, but he was bored. He drew flowers on the law papers. Then, when he was 20, Henri got very sick. He had to stay in bed for a long time. His mother gave him a set of paint to pass the time. That was it for Henri. From then on, he knew he wanted to be a painter. His father said, "You will starve." But when he got better, Henri went to Paris anyway to become an artist. Henri painted this picture in 1890 when he was 20. You can tell exactly what everything is. The colors are dark, practically all browns and greens. This is the way art students were taught to paint. Henri made this picture in 1953 when he was 83. It is made from paper cutouts. I had no idea what it is supposed to be until I saw the title. Try to guess what it is. I wrote the answer upside down at the bottom of the page. The colors are so bright. Henri's art sure changed a lot from when he was a young artist. Henri went to art school in Paris. He didn't like the teachers at his first school, so he went to a different art school. There, he had a great teacher who told him to try using his imagination more. Henri began to study what artists of the day, such as Claude Monet and Paul Cézanne, were doing. They were painting in a new way. They were using brighter colors and bigger brush strokes. Henri's painting started to change. He did this painting in 1896 when he was 26. It looks more like Cézanne's painting. It is a still life painting. That means it's a picture of things, like fruit and flowers, instead of being a picture of people or a landscape. Henri was starting to paint with loose brush strokes and use brighter colors. Henri became friends with 2 young artists named André Derain and Maurice de Malminck. He and his friends started painting with weird colors. They didn't care about making things look real. Henri said that he wanted to make colors sing without paying attention to rules and regulations. In 1905, they had an art show together. People were shocked. They said that the pictures looked like wild beasts had painted them. Henri and his friends didn't mind. They started to call themselves the Fauists. That is French for wild beasts. This is Henri's wife, Amélie. She is wearing a hat, but to me, it looks like a heavy bowl of fruit. It's sitting on her head. The colors are strange. Her face is yellow and blue-green. Her neck is orange. Henri only painted like a fowl for a few years. Then he decided he didn't like the style anymore. I read that Henri sold very few paintings when he first became an artist. There wasn't always enough food for the family. For a while, the Matisse had to move back in with Henri's parents. I wonder if his dad said, "I told you so." But then some people started to buy Henri's paintings. By 1911, when he painted this picture, Henri was doing a lot better. I like how Henri put so many different patterns in his pictures. The patterns look busy, but his family looks quiet and peaceful. Here is me with my sister. We clash. I found this kind of pattern and many pattern, dozens of pattern, zillions of pattern, big patterns, little patterns, and even flowers. Somehow it all goes together. Oh yeah, like all these are different patterns. Henri first went to North Africa in 1905. In 1912 and 1913, Henri took long trips to Morocco. He loved it. Staying in Africa changed how he painted. These pictures look calm and happy. The colors look like they're full of light. This is a painting of a young girl named Zora. She is Moroccan. You can tell that from her clothes. I read that Henri was hardly ever satisfied with what he did the first time around. He was always making changes and painting over things. I think that is what he did with Zora's hands. I think all the shades of blue in this picture are beautiful. I counted 5 different blues. I bet if I saw the real painting, there would be even more. Henri painted lots of pictures with windows in them. You feel as if you're inside the room looking at what's outside. As Henri got famous, people asked him to do pictures especially for them. This is called a commission. A rich businessman named Sergei Shonkin loved Henri's art. He bought lots of Henri's paintings. In 1910, Mr. Shonkin asked Henri to do a big painting for his mansion. He wanted a picture of dancers. This is the painting that Henri did. Mr. Shonkin wasn't so sure that he wanted naked dancers in his front hall. Maybe he had wanted ballerinas in tutus, but he took the painting anyway. This picture of dancers were done 20 years after the other painting of dancers. Henri was 60. The painting is a strange shape because it was supposed to fit in the top of a wall with curved arches that was in an art gallery near Philadelphia. Henri made it look like some of the dancers are leaping right out of the painting. Before he started to paint, Henri cut out paper shapes of the dancers to figure out how he wanted them to arranged. He moved the cut-out pieces around until everything looked just right to him. After he finished the painting, Henri found out that someone had sent him the wrong measurement. Henri's picture was too small. He had to start all over again. The whole thing took 3 years. Henri was exhausted. It was bad for his health and bad for his family. Henri and Amélie no longer lived together. As he got older, Henri was often sick. He now lived in southern France by the sea, where the weather was mild and sunny. In 1941, Henri had to have a big operation. He had cancer. He was 71 and nearly died. Henri had to stay in bed for a long time, but he felt very lucky to be alive. He said, "Every day that dawns is a gift to me." Henri had trouble painting because he couldn't stand up for long periods of time, so he cut out paper shapes, lots and lots and lots of them. He called it drawing with scissors. Here is how Henri made his cutouts. First, Henri's assistants painted sheets of paper in all the colors Henri liked. Then, Henri cut out shapes. Henri had his assistants pin the cutouts on the wall of his studio. This way, he could see how they looked together. Henri would keep cutting out more shapes and keep changing the arrangement until finally he was satisfied with how everything looked. The last step was to paste the cutouts down on paper. I have a leaf collection. I love these shapes and colors. I made some cutout leaves too. Cutting is hard work. Your hands get tired. I read that Henri played the violin for 2 hours every day. He loved music, but he also did it to give his hands a workout. Henri's picture looks simple, but now I know it wasn't. Like everything Henri did, it took a lot of work. When he was 73, Henri made 20 cutout pictures for a book that he wrote called Jazz. The picture that my grandpa sent me on my birthday was in the book. I saw a copy of the book at the library. The words are all in Henri's own handwriting. They are in French. The book is not about jazz music at all. It's about Henri's feelings about being an artist. When he was 80 years old, Henri worked on something he had never done before. That wasn't a painting, or a book, or paper cutouts. It was a whole little church. It was going to be built in France, not far from where he lived. Henri decided what everything would look like. He designed the building. He made the designs for the stained glass windows. He did the drawings on the walls. He even designed the clothes for the priests. He did it because he was a good friend of one of the nuns. She had been his nurse when he was very sick. This was Henri's way of saying thank you. Henri was old and sick, but he kept on working. His daughter said that Henri worked right up to the day he died. People say that some of his last cut-out pictures are his greatest. Henri died on November 5th, 1954. He was almost 85 years old. He had been an artist for more than 60 years. He made paintings, sculptures, drawings, costumes for ballets, cutouts, books, and even stained glass windows. Henri was hardly ever happy with his art, but he hoped that it made other people feel happy. It does. Merci, Henri. If I met Henri, I would ask him, why did you call your book Jazz? Do you like jazz? Did you listen to music while you painted? Did you have fun being a fowl? Merci, Kisa, for your report. It is great. It is too bad that Henri was not a happier person, because his art certainly makes people feel happy. Did you know that he was friends with Pablo Picasso? Henri and Picasso are considered the two greatest artists of the 20th century. Miss Brent. Yeah. Now we're going to make some art with scissors. So we are ready to draw with scissors. Yeah, I'm going to, you can see here, I drew some leaves, different shapes of leaves. I glued my leaves on my paper. So I'm going to show you how to draw a large leaf, a medium-sized leaf, and a small leaf with your hand. Now, we can draw a very large leaf using your entire hand and a part of your arm. So I have this yellow construction paper here. Now I'm going to put my whole hand right here, and I just go around my hand. I don't touch the side of my hand. I kind of make it really big around. Okay, so this is going to be my giant leaf, the biggest. So I'm going to draw some lines on my big giant leaf. I'm going to draw a medium-sized leaf with my hand only. I open up my fingers, I spread my fingers. So you can just kind of like going bubble drawing like around your fingers. I can draw some lines inside of the leaf. And now when you make a fist, you make a small size, right? See? Large, medium, and when you make a fist, it looks smaller. I'm going to go around my fist. Yeah, so this is my small leaf. I'm drawing some veins of the inside of the leaf. I'm going to cut out my leaf shape. Now, you don't have to cut super precisely. We can do bubble cut. I usually tell my students to do bubble cut. I'm drawing very fast, but you can do slowly. Okay? Okay, so now I have my 3 leaves, and I'm going to show you a composition. This composition is called overlapping, which means you see the big leaf that I drew is in the front of this medium leaf and the small leaf. So these three objects are overlapping each other. Now, the medium one is further away, it becomes smaller. And the small one is very small. This large one is right in the front. They are overlapping with each other. But it's okay if the small one is in the front too. The small one now is in the front, it's overlapping. Now you can make the medium one in the front. All of these shapes are overlapping with each other. Okay, they can go behind or to the front, however and wherever you want. They can even like stick outside of the paper. So you can glue them however the way you want. Yeah. So now I will introduce you another composition. Composition where it actually means where you put your things, right? Where is your subject on the paper? Let's see. This one is called smaller in distance. So the biggest leaf, they're in the front. They look big. And then the medium leaf is in the middle. It looks a little smaller. And then the smallest one is in the far back. So you can see your trees are getting smaller in distance. You can see on my example of this one, this big tree is in the front, right? You can see this dog. Usually dogs are smaller than people, right? So you can see this dog in the front. And then this dog looks very big. And then slowly, this one looks like a winding road. So you can see this road is getting smaller. You see that house in the very far back. It looks small, right? Usually a dog should be smaller than the house, right? But it's because this dog is so close to you. That's why this dog looks very big. Yeah, see, my hand is big, right? And then my hand become very, very, very small when it's further away. So did this house. This one, same thing. So I kind of did a big tree. And this one I kind of did a snow scene. So you can see the house. I did this house big, large, right? Just as this large tree because it's very close to me, very close to us, and the house, then the cat, and the person. So as we go further away, this house and this tree becomes smaller. And as we going further away, this house becomes even smaller. Okay? Yeah, so you can do your big tree in the front of your paper, and then your medium tree a little bit further, and a small tree very far away. Well, and then the last composition I want to introduce is my leaf, my art that's full of leaves. This is something called cover the entire space. So I did different kind of leaves. You can now practice drawing different kind of leaves. You can pretty much copy what I draw. And then you see this one, I didn't even draw. I just cut with scissors. You don't see an outline of my marks. I didn't make any marks. I just cut with scissors. So you can practice drawing different kind of leaves with my drawing over here. And then you can cut them out. You can use any colors. You can cut them out and glue it all over your paper. This is a very large piece of paper because I taped 4 papers together to make a really large one. So this composition is called fill the space. Fill your entire paper. You can do a little bit here, a little bit there. So I'm going to put my leaf over here. This one here. I'm going to make my large one. I'm gonna glue my large one there. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna glue this one here, and then this one, the medium one, here. Kind of holding the medium one is sticking outside the paper, and the small one, maybe I can switch. Okay, that's good. The medium one going here, and I'm gonna make the small one right. How about, I kind of don't want to hide anything. How about right here? So this 3, yeah. Okay, so that is it. Drawing with scissors, so you can cut the shapes. Okay, look at this one. It almost looks like a spider web. Yeah, this one looks like a heart, and this one is a ginkgo tree leaf. Yeah, so you can play around and then copy the leaves, and remember, fill in your space, fill the entire paper. Fill the entire paper, or you can do smaller in distance. And another one, smaller in distance, and then you don't forget overlapping. Okay, Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you have fun drawing with scissors and see you next time. Bye bye.